we hope the fight does come off because he's probably the best guy out there. Roy, thank you very much. Happy holidays to you. We're back here on Friday Night Fights, live boxing when we come back.
Store-wide sale.
From Foxwoods Casino and ESPN2, happy holidays!
Happy holidays, everybody, and thank you, ladies. Friday Night Fights presented by Miller High Life. Gary Balletto, Larry O'Shields in a 6-round junior welterweight bout from Foxwoods. Larry O'Shields is 27 years of age, fighting out of Houston, Texas, born in Atlanta, Georgia. Took this fight on 1 day's notice, 17-11 with 7 knockouts. And he'll be going against Gary Balletto from Cranston, Rhode Island. We've seen both of these guys before. Balletto, 137 pounds, 16-0-2 with 16 knockouts, 7 first-round knockouts. We've seen O'Shields against the likes of Billy Irwin here on Friday Night Fights.
I expect you to obey my commands at all times, and most of all protect yourself at all times.
Referee Ken Izzo.
Good luck to both of you.
And Teddy, Larry O'Shields taking this fight on very short notice. He doesn't even have his people with him.
No, he doesn't. And he's coming off a cold, he told us yesterday, complaining about that. But as you said, doesn't even have his people with him. The only one he brought was his girlfriend, Tammy, who, believe it or not, is working the corner as his cut woman.
Tammy Sells, his girlfriend, will handle his cuts. His trainer didn't even bother to come, so he picked up a local trainer. So we'll see what O'Shields has in the tank. He last fought on November the 3rd, lost an 8-round decision to Dennis Holbach. He did have a win against Chucky T. You know Chucky T from the Blue Horizon. Back on September the 12th, he won an 8-round decision. Balletto last fought on November the 17th. Knocked out Rick Dinkins. O'Shields takes a shot there.
But having said all the difficult things we said about O'Shields as far as having a chance to be prepared for this fight, he is a step up in opposition for Balletto, who just has not fought anybody to this point. His toughest fight so far and the best opponent so far in his career was back in February of this year against Glenn Ford. It was a draw. A lot of people thought that he lost that fight.
Yeah, he got a break. O'Shields has been in against Billy Irwin. He was knocked out by Billy Irwin. He's been in against Floyd Mayweather back in '97. Lost a 6-round decision to him. Been in against Emmanuel Burton. Had a draw against him. Knocked out by Levander Johnson. He's an opponent.
Lost a decision to Floyd Mayweather, who's the undefeated junior lightweight champion of the world. One of the pound-for-pound people of choice on everybody's pound-for-pound list. That was back in '97. He lost a 6-round decision to Floyd Mayweather Jr. As you said, Balletto likes to box, likes to pick his spots. No real power. We'll use those legs. We'll pick his spots. Will not stand right in front of Balletto. And you can see Balletto has problems with movement a little bit, Bob. Balletto likes to throw those strong, wide punches, legs a little bit wide, likes to grip that floor. He can't do that when his opponent moves out, moves in, moves to the side. O'Shields trying to have a good fight plan, a good idea of what he has to do to take advantage of the flaws of Balletto needing to be set to punch.
Well, we've seen here in this first round, O'Shields, although he just took the fight on 1 day's notice, we mentioned the guys he's been in against, and he's been able to avoid most of the attack from Balletto.
Yet to Miller time.
Friday Night Fights on ESPN2 is presented by Miller High Life. We welcome you back to Foxwoods Resort and Casino in Connecticut.
Here you're going to see a nice straight right hand right there by Balletto. And then he's going to follow it up, pursuing his opponent. Once again, he noticed that his opponent's leaning in a little bit. What punch does Balletto choose? The right one, the uppercut.
Well, 2 of the 7 punches landed by Balletto in that first round. Corner of Balletto, asking him to go to the body a little bit. O'Shields a little wide with the punches.
The harder punches, quite obviously, coming from Balletto. But the larger amount of punches coming from O'Shields. Right now, O'Shields doing a pretty good job, Bob, of keeping Balletto off balance. And that's what it's about if you're O'Shields. Took the fight on quick notice, coming off a cold. You have a guy, you have a man in front of you who has to be set to punch. You want to use your experience. You've been in with the better fighters. You want to use that experience.
Doesn't have his trainer with him.
Let him go, let him go.
But there's no substitute for experience. No, Shields is better in that department. You mentioned he's fought the much better opposition. He knows more about what it's about to this point in his life than the younger Balletto does. O'Shields making one of the main rules in boxing. Stood right in front of his man in limbo, in punching distance, straight up. If you're in that distance, you better get into defensive position. Be definite about what you're doing when you start to get into that punching zone. Don't just stand straight up. You stand straight up, you're going to catch leather.
And he talked about O'Shields being in against the better competition. He also had about 200 amateur bouts. Balletto, on the other hand, had about 15 amateur bouts.
As soon as you get into that punching zone, Bob, you have to get your hands off or move your head. Make a defensive move. But don't linger in that punching zone. Know where you want to be, and know where you don't want to be. Again, the breakdown of this fight is pretty simple. Balletto coming forward, trying to use his strength. Wide punches. O'Shields using his legs to keep Balletto off balance. Balletto should be going to that body. Try to take those legs away from O'Shields. You want to do that when you have a man moving on you, Bob. Especially when you have a man who's taking the fight on quick notice. Might not be in top shape.
We hit the end of the second round. Larry O'Shields and Gary Balletto in a scheduled 6-rounder. Friday Night Fights brought to you by a tray of Miller High Life. Glad you can join us. Ringside seats here at Foxwoods on this Christmas weekend. Happy holidays to everybody. That nice picture provided by our great cameraman here on Friday Night Fights and our director, Lenny Stucker. Happy 51st birthday today to Lenny. Doesn't look a day over 50.
Does a good job, Lenny, and the rest of the crew.
Punch numbers from the second round. You see O'Shields, he worked punch numbers. Landed 22 of 94 in that round. There's a right hand over the top by O'Shields.
Well, he saw Balletto going straight back on a straight line, so O'Shields followed him.
Balletto, a bit of an entrepreneur, just opened up a restaurant in Providence. Does some general contracting as well, trying to make his mark in the ring. Teddy's scorecard through 2 even.
So far, Balletto looking a bit one-dimensional. Straightforward, reaching in with punches, not dealing real well with the movement of O'Shields. This is where Balletto needs to make hay.
Work it out, come on, work it out.
But O'Shields is smart. That's how he turns his man. You would think, if part of your fight plan, if you were connected with Balletto, Bob, would be to wear down O'Shields, having taken his fight on quick notice. But to do that, you'd want to go to the body.
Well, they've asked him, Ted. His corner has implored him to do that, but he's not following it all the time.
O'Shields has been knocked out 4 times, and one of those knockouts was to former #1 contender, Billy Irwin, and that came from a body shot. Billy Irwin, of course, having fought last week, losing a decision to lightweight world champion Paul Spadafora.
Didn't fight much, though.
No, he did not fight with passion. Did not look like he was sure of his fight plan. Was confused by the style of Spadafora. Looked a little bit, quite honestly, like David Tua did a couple weeks ago against Lennox Lewis. Just not that passion.
Stage fright. That surprised me from Irwin.
A lot of people were disappointed in that performance. Both those fighters, favorites of ours, we've had them on our shows, seen them coming up.
Looking into the Bear's eyes, Tom fired.
And here you see O'Shields following his man Balletto straight back, taking advantage of Balletto, breaking one of the main rules in boxing. Never back up straight in front of your opponent.
Round number 4 underway. No knockdown so far in the fight. Take a look at some punch numbers through 3 rounds. And O'Shields, who took this fight on short notice, has been busier. He's been more accurate. And Teddy, you wonder, because this is Balletto's backyard. He's the New England guy. We're at Foxwoods. If O'Shields could get a fair shake. But, in that first bout, Marissa Shaw from Oxnard, California, won a split decision against Liz Mueller from Connecticut. Now O'Shields gets rocked with a right hand. May not matter. Canizzo giving the count.
Now this is where you have to wonder about the mental resiliency of O'Shields, having taken this fight on quick notice. How much of a resolve will he show?
He gets tagged again, and Balletto got all tied up.
Took the fight on quick notice, coming off a cold.
Right there, let him go, let him go.
Will you find a way to fight back, or will you just lay in there?
That's it.
Canizzo's going to stop it.
That's it.
Not much of a protest from O'Shields.
No, not at all. And that all started from a wide punch from O'Shields. O'Shields was doing a good job the first couple rounds, giving angles, picking the spots, getting in, getting out, not waiting for the slower Balletto to catch up to him. But O'Shields, we'll probably see it on the replay, O'Shields had a moment there where he got a little slow, a little lazy in the front. Got a little wide with his punches, and that's where I believe the problem started.
Teddy, we're going to take a look at it as Gary Balletto gets the win. There's a right hand there.
Yeah, O'Shields left that left hand out there. A little lazy with that left hand. You're lazy with that left hand. Right hand always has a chance of crashing onto your jaw. Again, watch this lazy jab. Lazy jab, quick right hand right over by Balletto, and Balletto knew what to do. Even though the punches were wide, he knew what to do once he had O'Shields reeling. Stay on him, keep chucking leather.
Well, O'Shields threw 62 more punches. He landed 13 more punches in the fight, but he gets tagged in the 4th round. And then referee Canizzo stops the bout. 120 of round number 4. Gary Balletto, in the toughest test he's had so far, improves to 17-0-2 with 17 stoppages. The 25-year-old from Rhode Island gets the victory against Larry O'Shields. Phillips and Oliveira in the main event, but here's Brian and Max.
All right, guys, thank you very much. We're going to get back to that Roy Jones thing, their take on all this. Guys, who did you vote for? Did you go for the Harlem Hammer in this, and who went the other way?
Well, first of all, Max, I like that Frederick Weiss reference. I think the Knicks would like to knock that guy out. He's been such a stiff. Their former first-round draft pick.
Where's our test, Bob?
Horrible, horrible. And Vince Carter jumping over his head, too, at the Olympics. Teddy, who'd you vote for?
Antonio Diaz. Just on the merit that I thought that he was consistent. I know he had that one fight with that basketball player that he probably, a lot of people didn't think he deserved to win. It was a real close fight in the heat in Las Vegas, no doubt about that. But I just thought that he fought on the caliber opposition, on his consistency, and what it led to. It led to him getting a shot.
I voted for Eric Harding based on the fact that here was a guy going in against Tarver, who everyone said Tarver was favored. It seemed like a little bit of a stacked deck. It was kind of down in Biloxi. It was a rival promoter and so on and so forth, with the Roy Jones fight looming. And I thought Tarver, you know, was going to give Harding a good challenge, and I thought Harding really stepped up in what I thought was a very, very tough spot and dealt with a lot of adversity in that fight and was able to come up with the win. That's why I voted for Eric Harding.
Yeah, I could understand that. I just don't think Harding was obviously in enough fights on our air to get that nomination.
All right, well, your point is well taken. Now, guys, we want one late entry. Gary Balletto, who we just saw, not for his action during the fight, but after the fight. Maybe Gary Balletto could be our Fighter of the Year.
No question. No,
Brian and Max,
no
back to
brainer
you.
right there.